This rise just continues, people. Bodø Glimt are on the brink of making history for their club and becoming the first Norwegian team to play in the Champions League for 17 years. The 07-08 season with Rosenborg, but Bodø Glimt, their rise has just been unreal. Nobody could have imagined this scenario for Bodø Glimt about 10 years ago, even 6-7 years ago. And what they have done, Conference League quarterfinal, then obviously close times getting to the Champions League, losing to Dinamo Zagreb on penalties. I did a watch along on that game here on the channel. Then the close call against Cervena Svesta, where they lost again in the playoff to get into the Champions League. And we saw what they did last season. They made it all the way to the semifinals of the Europa League. The Europa League, people, against top teams around Europe. And now Bodø Glimt, because of how well they have done in the European competitions, now they were able to start from the playoff round of the Champions League, and they won their first game against Sturm Graz 5-0. 5-0, people, against an Austrian team. This is ludicrous, crazy, just all the adjectives you can think of to describe this Bodø Glimt rise. And it's such a beautiful story because there's no sugar daddy nonsense going on here. There's no oil money. Oh, well, maybe there's some oil money, who knows? But there's no sugar daddy just pumping a crazy amount of money into this club. It's been all organically built on coaching, on philosophy, on mentality, and then the football they play is ridiculous. The first half I watched, I didn't get to watch the second half because it was getting late and I had to get some sleep. The first half, Bodø Glimt were absolutely mesmerizing. That's the word to use, mesmerizing. Like, every time you get to watch Bodø Glimt, and specifically at home, which I'm going to discuss about, it's like every combination play is wonderful. All the players just have such a wonderful chemistry, and they all are very technically gifted, from Mata to Evjen to Patrick Berg to Saltnes, like Jens Petter Hauge. Like, they're such good players, and Hog, who's just basically a physical striker, always gets his goals somehow. So this rise has just been unbelievable, and I can't imagine, like, following this team for like the last 5 years now, and I've made my first Bodø Glimt video in the 21-22 season, to get to this point where they've pretty much qualified to the Champions. I mean, it would be one of the greatest comebacks ever if Sturm Graz came back from 5 goals down. I highly doubt it. And there was already some computer analysis that gave 100% to Bodø Glimt, which you can never do in football because there's always a chance of football, but it's pretty much done. And this is now a historic moment for Norwegian football, for Bodø Glimt to get to the Champions League. The most northern Champions League club in history. In the Arctic Circle, you're going to maybe see Barcelona or Real Madrid or maybe even Manchester City or Liverpool maybe go to Bodø and play a game of Champions League football. This is what football is about, people. You just want to marvel into these sort of stories and the work that Knutsen has done as man. I mean, this guy, you don't even have to name the stadium after him. You have to name the city. You have to name the airport, the stadium, the whole entire province that Bodø is in. Name it after Knutsen. Because the work he has done, the football he has played, like Bodø Glimt are going to places that never could have been imagined before. And it's all because of him. And yes, obviously the club philosophy has a huge part in it, but it's because of the coaching that he has done. Now that he has gone to this stage of basically qualifying the Champions League, will he finally move on and go to another European club? Time will tell, and we'll see if that happens for Bodø Glimt. But for Bodø Glimt and their fans, like, they've traveled to the AS Roma, they've traveled to Lazio, they've traveled to Olympiacos, they've traveled to so many, Arsenal, Manchester United, but they're always in the Europa League, Conference League, and now it could be the Champions League. And the football they play, this is one of the great stories in football in the 21st century. Because, you know, other clubs have spent money, crazy money. Look like Paris FC, for example. Other clubs, you know, with multi-club ownership, they're going to different places that they could have never imagined. But Bodø Glimt, it's all been organic, like it's Whole Foods. All organic. Organic salmon, organic soya sauce, organic beer. Now, that's been Bodø Glimt for the last couple of years. All of the coaching and all of the players, you know, Berg and Jens Petter Hauge, they left. Most of these players have left. Even Evjen, they all left Bodø Glimt to go to, you know, European leagues. Didn't really work out there. You know what they do? They return home. They return to the place that made them a great player. A place where they could just feel the atmosphere, feel the football, and that is Bodø Glimt. That is Bodø. I mean, the home record for Bodø Glimt is absurd. Other than Spurs last season and Karabag, I mean, Bodø Glimt's home record is so unbeatable. It's like Thanos right now. They are the Norwegian Thanos of football at the moment, or Bodø Glimt at home. Yes, it's the artificial turf, and maybe it could play a part, but, and I've played a lot on artificial turf. The transition from artificial turf to natural grass, it's a bitch. It is a bitch, but you have to deal with it. This is sometimes what you have to deal in football. You're going to have different climates. You're going to have different environments. You're going to have different sort of circumstances go against you. So as an away opponent or a fan, you have to deal with it. So teams cannot adapt. Bodø Glimt take advantage of it, but it's also the football. It's not like one-dimensional, just crazy, physical play. It's technical, brilliant. It's chemistry, and that's what makes Bodø Glimt so special. And their home record, I mean, good luck to any Champions League team. The funny part is, if Bodø Glimt do this and they make it to the Champions League, they'll be a pot 3 team. They'll be ahead of the likes of Monaco, Newcastle, Atletico. Bodø Glimt, a pot 3 team. So I just love this story, and I think it's going to be, when people are going to see Bodø Glimt and they're going to be like, oh my God, look at this Wi-Fi password in the Champions League. They have not been following this story. They have not been following the journey that Bodø Glimt have been on, and all of the players that have left, like Victor Boniface now, maybe going to AC Milan. Where did it all start, people? Bodø Glimt. It all started at Bodø Glimt. So it's a beautiful story, and they won 5-0 the first leg. Sometimes with these results, it's always been like a 1-goal advantage for Bodø Glimt, and then they go away in the second leg. Now it's like, hey, we can lose 3-0. We're good, guys. We don't need to have Heiken make 15 saves or 20 saves. Well, maybe he still have to do that, but he doesn't have to go God tier mode in order for us to advance to the Champions League. Now we can get a comfortable 2-0, 3-0 loss, and we're good, and we're in the Champions League, and Bodø Glimt fans can just dream. And I think this is so good for Norwegian football. I know maybe some people like Tromsø fans, maybe they're not happy about Bodø Glimt making it to the Champions League, but surely this is going to be a great thing for the Norwegian League. The fact that now a Norwegian club for the first time in 17 to 18 years is going to play Champions League football. Then you look at other teams, they can maybe make it to the Europa League. Obviously, Molde have made it a couple times to the Conference League and making it to the knockout round. So Norwegian League is getting better and better. Same as the Swedish League, same as the Danish League. So Nordic football is definitely on the rise here, people. I wish the Finnish League was like that, but at least we had Kups in the hopefully in the Europa League this season. They'll definitely be in the Conference League at least. It's just a great thing for Norwegian football. And you see it with the national team. Now you see it with the league, the amount of talents that they're producing. And I think Bodø Glimt is a huge part of it because they have raised the standards on how to run a club in Norway and how to produce the talent and how to nurture the talent. Okay, we might not be ready to sell them right now. You need another season here. Then we'll agree you can move on. That's perfect. That's how it should be. There should be wonderful communication. And it just seems like there's such a family bond with this team and with the fans. And obviously it's such a small town, but yet there's such a wonderful culture, and it just feeds into the football they play. And Norwegian football, I think, should really feel proud that they have produced a club like this. And now they're going to see a lot of players that could possibly play for the national team go play in the Champions League. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. And I wonder what Bodø Glimt fans think. What would be a dream matchup for you? If you want to go crazy right now and think about it, I'll do it for you because I think this tie is done. I mean, it would be shocking if Sturm Graz overturned the tie. I think one ridiculous matchup would be seeing Real Madrid with Xabi Alonso and the crazy amounts of money they have spent on players go to Bodø. In November, by the way. We need to get that game in November. It is cold. It is -2 Celsius. It's super, super cold. The snow, everything, frostbite. We need to see it. We need to see Real Madrid play in Bodø. And I think for Bodø Glimt fans, I think they want to go away to like the San Siro or something. I think they did play AC Milan in the Europa League playoff, if memory serves me right, because I think that's the game where Jens Petter Hall get absolutely balled out. And then that was COVID, so there was no fans in the stadium. Maybe San Siro go up against Inter. I think if you're a Bodø Glimt fan, you have to start dreaming and you have to start thinking to yourself, this is it. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. The close calls against Crvena Zvezda, Dinamo Zagreb, like I've talked about, to the incredible journey they had last season. And now they're only 90 minutes away from creating Norwegian football history and Bodø Glimt history, a moment that the club probably 10 years ago were like, we play in the Champions League? You got to drug test us. We need to drug test you. We need to see your alcohol level at the moment. No. Pinch. It's reality. It's actually a reality that we're going to see Bodø Glimt in Champions League football. Finland's not part of Scandinavia, so I'm going to say Nordic football. As a Nordic football fan, it is so, because we've seen FC Copenhagen, we've seen Malmo. Obviously, Djurgården made it to the semifinals of the Conference League last season in Bodø Glimt, but now we're seeing a Norwegian team return to the Champions League. And Icelandic football and its rise recently with the clubs are doing really well. Faroe Islands with obviously Klaksvik. So Nordic football is getting better and better. And that's a huge, I think, credit to Bodø Glimt because they're raising the standards. And right now, they are the best Nordic team by far. There's not even any competition. Yes, FC Copenhagen could also make the Champions League, but Bodø Glimt, for me, with the talents they produce, with the minimal funds they have, the stadium, everything about it, all the circumstances go up against them. The fact that they are going to make the Champions League, for me, they are the best Nordic team at the moment. And let's see, they can cause some upsets. With that home record in the Champions League, they can cause some upsets. And one last thing about Knudsen, what a manager. Just the way he has built this team and all the players they consistently lose to just recharge the batteries. Go again. It's not about, oh, we lose this player, everything's down. No, this is a team sport. If we lose one individual, it's okay. We go again. We go again. And I think that's a huge credit to Knudsen for the style of football they play in. Look at where it's gotten Bodø Glimt right now. Champions League football, possibly for the first time ever, and for the first time, a Norwegian club in the Champions League in 18 years. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, people. What do you make of this Bodø Glimt rise? Is this now the pinnacle moment for this club, or can they create even more history, like making the playoff round of the Champions League? Big thank you to everybody. We have reached 25,000 subscribers. Really a huge credit to all of you for subscribing, listening to a person from random Finland. I really do appreciate the constant support you guys give me. And hopefully this is a part of the journey, people. We've talked about Uzbek football here. We've talked about Mauritania stunning Algeria. We've talked about the revival of Greek football. I've talked about Bacho being the Great Wall of Ecuador. What other channel produces this sort of content? I really want to say thank you for your kind support, and hey, maybe we'll soon get to 50K. It is a World Cup year. Remember that, people. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and remember to follow me on all the socials, Instagram, Twitter, join the Discord, all those links, description down below. But have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Till next time, adios.